Now, the Princess of Wales is celebrating her 44th today. It's almost a year, actually, since she announced she was in remission from cancer.
Well, yesterday she joined her husband, Prince William, in surprising NHS staff and volunteers at Charing Cross Hospital. Our royal correspondent Cameron Walker was with them.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! I think we can still say that, can't we?
A warm surprise for those working through cold winter pressures. The Prince and Princess of Wales visited London's Charing Cross Hospital yesterday to show their support for a struggling institution. Here's Gail Scott-Spicer, the boss of Imperial Health Charity.
It makes a massive difference for the staff and volunteers and the patients to feel the support of people like their Royal Highnesses at what's a very difficult time with winter pressures for all of the NHS.
2026 is going to be a good year?
Prince William told health leaders the use of charities could have a far greater impact.
It needs the support, it needs that kind of energy and that renewed momentum. We all applauded all the NHS for many weeks on end through COVID. This kind of feels like a bit of a moment to remind ourselves why we did all that applauding, and that actually the next stage, the next energy level into the NHS could really come from the likes of all of you around this room.
Communities across Britain are supported by NHS Charities Together, which improves patients' care through funding facilities, green spaces and arts projects.
It must make a big difference to you having that bit of extra there in the workforce, but also to be able to build those relationships with patients and things like that.
The Prince and Princess have been joint patrons since the pandemic. Alvina, who's a volunteer, noticed it was particularly personal for the Princess.
Cancer has affected her thought process, and speaking with us, you could tell like she really relates to us and she appreciates what we do.
But for all the buzz and excitement, a harsh reality still grapples the NHS. Hospital admissions for winter viruses remain high and bed capacity is above 90%. Here's consultant Dr. Ursula Singha.
Things like people falling in the ice. We had a huge spike in attendances yesterday because of that. So there's all the usual pressures and obviously staff sickness and other issues within that. But we're all trying our best and soldiering on and aiming to provide the best care possible.
Today, the Princess of Wales celebrates her 44th birthday. She's expected to remain out the spotlight, marking the day privately with her family. Cameron Walker, GB News in London.
Well, Cameron's here in the studio now. It must have been quite a treat yesterday seeing Catherine, because she wasn't expected, was she?
No, she wasn't. So we were told that the Prince of Wales would be visiting Charing Cross Hospital to show support for the volunteers and patients and staff there. And then about 15 minutes, 20 minutes beforehand, we got given a message that the Princess of Wales has decided to join her husband as well. Both of them are joint patrons of NHS Charities Together, which is kind of a conglomerate, really, of about 220 charities around the country which support the NHS as an institution with its work, which I think many people perhaps don't really understand this. You've got the NHS, which is funded by taxpayers, but then there's all these charities, which obviously are donated to, which provide kind of extra services. So what you saw in my report there was kind of art therapy in the neurological ward, and you saw some kind of physiotherapy and physical therapy for those recovering from brain injuries. And all of that is partly funded by charities, and that's what their Royal Highnesses were kind of supporting there yesterday. They started being patrons during the coronavirus pandemic, but of course the patients and the staff and the volunteers were not aware the Prince and Princess were coming. All they were told was that there were VIPs coming, and then all of us turn up with the camera crew and cameras. There's about 5 or 6 of us in the media, Royal Rota that day, and then the Prince and Princess obviously walk in, and the gasps from the volunteers who clearly give up their time to help patients, and being able to sit down with the Prince and Princess, talk about the volunteering they do, and also the Prince and Princess, particularly the Princess, can really kind of sympathise with what the patients have gone through, given her own cancer journey, and that is something that the Prince actually talked about with hospital bosses at the end of the visit too, that they have that kind of shared personal experience. So it was quite a moment for those at Charing Cross Hospital in West London yesterday.
Yeah, such a moment for them. Let's hope it's an easier year as well for Catherine. 2026 is set to be a good one for her. Thank you very much, Cameron.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private internet access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private internet access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GBNews discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GBnews to start protecting yourself digitally today.
Now listen, breaking news, Kensington Palace have just released a video to mark the Princess of Wales' 44th birthday. Our GB News royal correspondent Cameron Walker is here with us now. Cameron, tell us more.
Yeah, deeply personal message from the Princess of Wales. Of course, it's 2 years this January that the Princess went into hospital for her major abdominal surgery where cancer was discovered. And then 1 year since she announced she was in remission. And the Princess has released a short statement, a written statement, first of all, before we play the video. She says, the Mother Nature series, she released a kind of Mother Nature series, an instalment of how nature's kind of helped her heal and getting back to nature, has been a deeply personal, creative reflection on how nature has helped me heal. But it is also a story about the power of nature and creativity and collective healing. There is so much we can learn from Mother Nature as we look to build a happier, healthier world. Let's hear from the Princess of Wales.
Even in the coldest, darkest season, winter has a way of bringing us stillness, patience, and quiet consideration, where the stream slows just enough for us to see our own reflection, to discover the deepest parts of ourselves, alongside the whispers and the pulse of every living thing. I find myself reflecting on how deeply grateful I am. For the rivers within us flow with ease. Fears washed away. Cleanse and purify. Come to peace with our tears and discover what it means to be alive. To be at one with nature, a quiet teacher and a soft voice that guides. In memory, helping us to heal.
Well, that was lovely, wasn't it, Cameron? I really enjoyed that. I mean, it's so nice to hear from her, especially after the health scare you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, very therapeutic. The final instalment, as I say, you may have seen the Princess of Wales pop up there on a walk in Berkshire, but there are other places around the UK. There we had Cumbria, we had Gloucestershire, we had London, we had East Sussex, and the Cotswolds. The Princess is really concerned, actually, about the rise of digital uses and screen time, particularly AI and social media use with young people. I heard her talk about AI, actually, yesterday at a hospital visit I was on with her. But she recently wrote about the challenges and how she really wants, I think we're going to see perhaps this year, her really trying to encourage the British public to get back out in nature rather than spending too much time on screen, particularly in a very complex world and a very complicated world at the moment. But this, as I said, the final instalment of her Mother Nature video series, and it's basically her telling the public how nature and getting out and about in nature really helped her come to terms with her cancer diagnosis and her healing journey. And of course she remains in remission, and she's saying in that video how grateful she is to be as healthy as she is.
Yeah, because Cameron, when you look at the Instagram posts that go up on the Wales's accounts, when you see even Charles's, a lot of his stuff, all very nature focused. It's quite a big theme for the royal families, and they're looking after conserving Britain, conserving nature. It's quite a big theme of what I think they want to encourage the public to be outdoors a bit more.
Well, yeah, but also and tradition, Alex, and it's the power of human connections. I mean, we talk a lot about pubs and you know how a lot of pubs are shutting down. That is a place where you can get into your community and speak to actual people rather than being on digital screens and being online and speaking to an AI bot, for example. And I think that's something that particularly the Princess is concerned about in terms of that, of losing that power of human connection, and that's what she wants to get back in this country.
And of course, Britain has so much beauty to offer, doesn't it?
Yep.
You see some of the shots there in Kate's birthday message. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, it's particularly Berkshire, near where she lives, perhaps. But
well,
yes, but also,
I heard you mention Cumbria, so I like to brag about my own area.
Cumbria was there, the Cotswolds, Gloucestershire, right across the country, anywhere in the United Kingdom, some great nature spots to get out and about and look at it.
Well, happy birthday to the Princess of Wales.
Indeed.
From all of us here at GB News. I hope you have a wonderful day.